Rise up, Falcons fans. Week 1, Falcons Panthers was yesterday. And, well, it's great to have Falcons football back. That's all I can say. But, what makes it even better? Winning in week 1. The Falcons don't do that too much. But we changed the narrative. This week, we defeated a team in week 1 for the first time since 2017. I think that was against the Chicago Bears. That was a long time ago. And we defeated the Carolina Panthers 24 to 10. In this video, I'm only doing a Falcons versus Panthers review. I may also do some other games in like YouTube short reviews, like I did the Lions Chiefs. We'll see. But this one's going to be a full-on video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more Falcons content. Let's get into this. Also, just if you want to watch a little bit of the highlights split up, ESPN has them. So, yeah. The headline is Bijan Robinson outshines top pick Bryce Young as Falcons knock off Panthers 24-10 and the number 8 pick still is probably from the top choice in the NFL draft. I agree with that. He definitely was more of a star, but also one's a quarterback and one position's way easier as a rookie, especially when you're a first round pick. But yeah, as you can see the scoring summary, we put up 14 points in the fourth quarter. We're not a great late scoring team, but we changed the narrative today. And that's really why we got the win, because of our amazing fourth quarter. Tyler ran it in for a score twice. But yeah, let's alright, so you can see here we were actually projected to win for most of the game. Especially since where is this? The end of the third quarter. Also, total yards, the Panthers had way more, but that's because they actually had a balanced attack, kind of passing and rushing. Turnovers, they turned over the ball 3 times. We did 0 times. That's the big part of the game. 3-0 turnovers. I don't actually know the exact stats, but I do know that teams rarely win when they have a 3-0 turnover ratio. You never want that. And they also had more first downs. But guess what? We still beat them by more than one score. Time possession, they also won in that. But I think turnovers is more important in almost all these stats. You can debate between total yards and turnovers. I'm putting my money on turnovers, especially when it's in a large fashion like this. But first downs and time possession can't really tell you who wins the game most of the time. Now, if I tell you about my predictions for this game, I predicted the Falcons win 27-13. You can check out the video on my channel if you don't believe me. But we did very similar to that. I was 3 points off for each team. I thought the Panthers would score 3 more points than they did. I thought the Falcons would score 3 more points than they did. But still, it's a very close prediction. I did think we were going to win by more than one score. I just don't think the Panthers are going to be very good this year. And that's along with me thinking the Falcons are going to be at least decent this year, which is why I thought the Falcons were going to win by 14. And we did end up winning by 14. Let's get into what you all probably been waiting for, the box score. Let's start with the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young in his rookie debut, 20 of 38, 146 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. He was sacked twice. Now, you can't say Bryce Young's a bust yet. I could never say a quarterback was a bust after their first game. But the Falcons definitely made it tough on him. You could see him throwing over the middle of the field was not the same as him throwing to the outside. I feel like he was way more proficient on the outside, because those tall centers and guards are just really obstructing his view. It's just going to be hard for him like that. But he threw it a lot for a rookie quarterback. I think the Panthers probably should have given the ball off more. You see, Miles Sanders already had 18 carries, but Hubbard kind of just stopped getting the ball in the second half. They should have Hubbard should have had 13, 14 carries this game. Took in some of the pressure off of Bryce Young. But no, Bryce Young had to throw it almost 40 times. He did get his first career touchdown to Hayden Hurst, who checked into the stands, though. He did tweet out that they got the football back, but I still don't understand why he did that. Especially when you're not even in your own crowd. Receiving, speaking of Hayden Hurst, he had 7 targets, caught 5 of them, 41 yards, and a TD. Miles Sanders also had yards through the air, which gives him a total of 98 yards. So yeah, that's a pretty good game for him. Terrence Marshall only caught 2 of his 6 targets for 23 yards. And rookie Jonathan Mingo caught 2 of his 5 for 17 yards. Fumbles. Miles Sanders fumbled and lost it due to Jesse Bates literally tapping it out. Like, he didn't have his hand to a fist. He just pushed it out of his arm. It was a review, but Miles Sanders was not down. So the Falcons recovered that. Bryce Young also fumbled the snap, I think. It was something like that. And but he recovered his own fumble. Defensively, Derek Brown had 9 tackles, 8 of them solo on the defensive line. That's very good. Sack for him as well. 1.5 sacks for Brian Burns, because they all came in like the first half. He was really disruptive in the first half. Frankie Louvu also had a sack from the linebacker position, and Shai Tuttle had half a sack. They also had a total of 6 tackles for loss, but couldn't bat down any passes. Ritter didn't throw any complete passes, so they didn't have much of a chance, though. Had a few QB hits as well. No interceptions, though. No fumbles. No really good kick returns. Kicked 1 field goal. Punted 5 times. Just not a very good day for Carolina, clearly. Let's get into our Falcons stats, though. Desmond Ritter, 15 of 18. Now, you hear that, you think, oh, this QB was great. But if you look at the rest of the stats, not as much as you may think. 115 yards and 1 touchdown. And the 1 touchdown was a screen. So he didn't even really throw a dart into the end zone to, like, a big receiver or anything. He threw it to Bijan, and Bijan just made it work. But he was sacked 4 times. Luckily, he didn't fumble on any. Wait, did he fumble on them? Wait, hold on. Let me just go with that for a second. What is that? Oh, he did fumble 1. Okay, he did fumble. I was thinking about that. I was like, did he fumble once? Oh, yeah, one of his completions were to himself. Also, another reason that you don't see a lot of yards here is that he had a couple of passes that either didn't go anywhere or were losses, especially to Bijan Robinson. So, even though he only had 115, he could have hit maybe 130, which still isn't amazing. But this is the game that offenses wants him to do, which I don't really know if I agree with that. Like, sure, he's young, but I know that if you know too, if you want to see his full potential, he's going to have to throw 20 times at least a few times this season. And even though he was accurate, also a lot of the completions were not passes that would have normally been caught by a regular receiver. Matt Collins, if that guy was like 2 inches shorter, his arms probably couldn't reach to that ball and make that grab. Kyle Pitts' play was so amazing, no one even talks about the throw by Ritter because he threw it in double coverage. Pitts had to do that all himself. I like Ritter. I think he didn't play terrible today. I just think with the limited throws, he didn't really show us anything special. We'll have to see more of that next week, especially when he's going against players like Devontae Campbell, who's a great covering linebacker. Kenny Clark, who's going to really challenge our guards and centers, and Jair Alexander along with Darnell Savage. It's going to be interesting next week. Rushing, Tyler Algier, 15 for 75, averaging exactly 5 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. He's looking just like Algier from last season, and it didn't look like he was just getting open holes. He was making plays. He was trucking people when he should have been tackled for a loss. He was juking people that should have brought him down easily. He was doing whatever he needed to get those extra yards, and that's big. Love to see that. And then we also got the rookie, Bijan Robinson, who had an almost equally good game with less carries with only 10, but 56 yards, 5.6 per carry. These two look like they're going to be pretty much unstoppable. Oh, if one of them gets tackled for a loss of 1, bring in the other one. They'll get a run for at least 6 and make it a third down manageable. Like, it's looking like no matter what they plan for, we always have a right back that can counter what they're trying to do. And Patterson didn't even play this week. He could have gotten like 6 carries and we could have taken like 3 away from Algier and for Robinson had even more balanced run attack. But yeah, I love how right backs played today. Receiving, Kyle Pitts, 2 for 44. Off of 3 targets. He should be targeted at least 6 times per game. But off of this small target circle, he did well. Matt Collins, 3 for 31 off of 4 targets. You can see, even when you look at Bijan Robinson, as a running back, he's not dropped any passes. Every target was caught because Ritter only threw 3 incomplete passes the entire game. And Algier caught all of his targets as well for 19. If our running backs continue to be great on the ground and in the air, there's nothing off some defenses are going to do. We're just going to do better with our wide receiver game, finding people that are open. Looked like sometimes we had some time in the pocket and couldn't find anybody. So maybe we should always have a check down option because it feels like that's how we got most of our passing yards. Drake London, 1 target, no receptions. Not great day from him. Not really his fault, though. He was literally targeted 1 time. He did drop that 1 pass that he should have caught, though. Ritter's first completion of the day was to himself for a loss of 6. Man, the classic Falcons. I mean, it's so fun. It was such a weird play, and I could tell this game was not going to be a normal game after that. Fumbles. Desmond Ridder, as I already said, lost the fumble but recovered it himself. And Lorenzo Carter recovered the fumble that Jesse Bates forced. And let's just go to the defense overall. Jesse Bates and Troy Anderson both had 10 tackles. Sacks, 1/2 for Anderson, 1/2 for Jarrett, and 1 for Lorenzo Carter. Had a decent amount of tackles for loss and pass defense. QB hits, 7 in total, which is big. That is, you love to see that on a rookie QB. And no touchdowns defensively, but you're not going to expect that. Interceptions. Jesse Bates had 2. 2 of them, pretty much, like, you could show them the interception and say, which one was first, which one was second. There's a good chance that you wouldn't be able to tell if you didn't watch the game or you only looked over it a little bit. I would say mostly, if like, I feel like I would be able to tell, but some people that watched this entire game would not know which ones was which because of how similar they looked. It was Bijan throwing across the middle of the field and Jesse Bates just diving over it. Like, really, it was just great from Jesse Bates. He really did the same thing to the rookie twice. And he only returned them for 3 yards, so it doesn't matter. I don't care how much you return an interception, as long as you don't go backwards. No kick returns, because every time the 2 times they kicked it off to us, 3 times. 3 times they kicked it off to us, it was all touchbacks. Punt returns, we didn't really do much in that side of the field either. Kicking, Q made his 1 field goal, but barely. Well, no, I guess the extra point that he barely made, but he did make a 49-yard field goal. And finally, punting, we did pretty good, man. What's his name? Bradley Pinion was a pretty good punter today. My takeaways from this game, 1, after the first half, we pretty much, we were pretty bad at pass coverage, I'll say, especially in the second quarter, but we cleaned it up really quickly. I think that was good. If I had to choose a con, was Caleb McGarry wasn't amazing today. In the second half, I also think he cleared it up. But the first half, Caleb McGarry was kind of the Caleb McGarry I remember watching back in 2021, which is not what I want to see from him. Final takeaway: our running backs are going to be disastrous for other defenses. But I might make some quick reviews of some of the other interesting games. It's definitely of the Bills versus Jets, maybe even Cowboys Giants. Tell me if you guys want to see any specifics. Then on either Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll do power rankings for week 2, which I'm very excited for, to see how some of these big games like Browns, Bengals, and Lions, Chiefs affect my power rankings. Also, just because the Lions beat the number 1 team in the league, since the Lions are going up and the Chiefs are going down, doesn't mean I'm just putting the Lions all the way up to number 1. Just so you know. See you guys later.